I know Callie wants to tell you about the new Upside t-shirts that we have restocked, but there's a new color.
I do.
So she's going to explain all that in a second. But first, I would like to give Callie a round of applause and the opportunity to share her wisdom.
Oh, boy.
Because we had an issue a couple days ago with freaking fruit flies.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, now here's the thing.
They're the devil bugs because you can't see them. And even if you kill like 5 of them, there's always...
You can't see them until they're in your face.
Yeah.
And they like swipe your nose or get in your eye or something.
And there's such a... And I don't... Do they live on bananas? Do they live in your drain? Where do they live? Why are they just around?
It seems to be like somewhat like it's just like poof, poof.
Yeah.
Poof.
But where do they get to the house on bananas? Like,
I don't know. And it's so...
God,
I don't know.
They're annoying.
We should throw a Google on that. This will be like my next Callie rabbit hole. It's like, how do fruit flies come to be? It's almost like they're like, I don't know. Anyway.
Like some sort of bug angel just flew over our house and said, you know what? They've been pest free for a while. Let me put some fruit flies in their drain.
And they can be kind of hard to get rid of. And one of the things that I saw years ago that worked super well for us was like red wine in a glass. You leave it open and let the bugs get stuck in your red wine. Well, we didn't have red wine. So I'm like, what can I do? What can I do? I put vinegar. Apple cider vinegar into like a cup, like a drinking glass. I put saran wrap over it. And then I got a toothpick, or you could do it with like, a ballpoint pen, like poked holes in the top so they could get into it looking for the good stuff.
The apple cider vinegar.
But they can't figure out how to get out of it for some reason. I don't know why. So it was awesome. And we caught all 5. And then the 6th one I found because I knew how many there were, because I was like,
how do you know they're not the same ones? That's
because no, it's not ridiculous, because there were 4 already flying in my little trap thing. Okay. And then I saw another one and I'm like, oh, there's another one. So I'm like, this is the last one. I'm sure of it. Next morning, getting ready for work, it's on my mirror. So I smacked it, killed it. So that one was just an old fashioned hand slap, but the rest of them were apple cider vinegar, saran wrap on top, poke holes in the top.
And that's just in a drinking glass.
In a drinking glass.
And there's something really, really satisfying about looking into the glass and seeing all the dead fruit flies.
Yeah.
That feels really good. So if you have fruit fly issues, that'll resolve it. All right. Now that we've talked about pest control, plug your t-shirts.
We have these awesome Comfort Colors t-shirts. And if you don't know, you're like, Comfort Colors? I don't know what that is. Comfort Colors, if you have ever been to the Salty Dog Cafe on Hilton Head Island, or just even in the store, you know what Comfort Colors is. It's these bright, super cool, like a little bit worn looking shirts. And I got our hands on those. It just says Upside on it. So cool. It looks like a college t-shirt. And we sold out of the first one. So I went to reorder. They were sold out. But we got a new color. It is awesome. I love it. I just ordered mine. And the color is like a periwinkle color. And I think our sizing is small through 3X.
Periwinkle, for the men listening, is light blue.
I'd say it's it's like a bluish purple.
Yeah, light blue.
Yeah. So that is up at callieandjeff.com. Click on the merchandise tab and you can order yours, snag it. It is the perfect summer t-shirt. And you know that you do still not want to get out of your t-shirt. So make it cute, make it count, throw it on with some yoga pants and get excited. This is a great shirt.
The Upside means living in gratitude, finding the positive in every experience, and helping other people do the same. You are now part of the movement. Welcome to The Upside with Callie and Jeff. This episode is brought to you by Dinner Affair.
If this is your first episode of The Upside, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back.
My name is Jeff Dollar, and today I am grateful that Callie got rid of our fruit flies.
My name is Callie Dollar, and I am grateful for cortisone cream.
That is odd.
It is, but I was just thinking, I'm like, you know what? That's kind of a like miracle, super underrated item.
The nurse on call at our pediatrician's office said that we could put cortisone. Ellie gets drool
rash.
That word is hard for me to say. Sometimes on one of her cheeks, and she's like, put a little dot of cortisone. And I kid you not, I almost think you can watch it clear up
it's crazy
so quickly.
And the thing, I thought that cortisone was like this super strong, like, I don't know why I had it in my head that it was like, don't get cortisone on yourself. Like, I think it's more moisturizing than we think it. Like, I thought of it as like almost a hard drug. I'm like, we can't put cortisone on the baby. And then the nurse is like, oh, it's fine. So now we like lather her in it and she does great.
Yeah. All right. So I got a hack for falling asleep from someone who used to struggle with top shelf insomnia. Like, this was somebody that I could count on if I was ever scrolling through Instagram late at night, like post 11 p.m., post midnight, that if I commented on their picture, he would respond back within minutes because his brain was just always going.
Is it my dad?
No,
just kidding.
Oh, it was always, his brain was always going like 1,000,000 miles an hour. That was such a I was like, are you serious? Because your dad's never on Instagram.
No, he's not on Instagram, but he for years struggled with insomnia. And I mean, he just now got to sleep, like good sleep habits, like within the past couple of years.
It was so, the patterns of getting responses from this guy were so commonplace that I just realized a few nights ago that he was no longer responding to late night.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, I'm like, you're not sleeping now, are you? He says, I have a sleep hack that changed my life. And it makes so much sense that I might start doing it.
What is it?
It is basically making the very last thing that you do before you fall asleep is a brain dump to-do list. You can handwrite it in a notebook, or you can use the notepad on your phone, or what he does is he sends an email to himself that's just a checklist. And all he does, he says he does it before he's lying down, and that's just his personal preference. But the very last thing he does before he puts his head on the pillow is basically brain dump anything that he has coming up.
I wonder if you could do a voice brain dump.
And just do it as a voice text.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason it works for him is because he was lying in bed at night thinking about everything that he had to do the next day.
I think there's also something to that about like the fear that you're not going to remember it when you wake up.
Yes.
And I know people, I think it's my dad who used to for years, I don't know if he still does, keep a notepad and a pen by his bed. I think this is when he was like working. And when he would get thoughts, he would write them immediately down just so he could, have it leave his head. I think that the phone is dangerous for you. So if I were you, I would maybe like do the notepad or like a voice memo.
I disagree.
Oh, really? You don't think you'll get sucked into your phone?
No, because if I did it in a notepad, I don't do handwritten to-do lists like that. Like that would actually cause me more anxiety. I think for me, emailing it to myself. Because then I just know that tomorrow morning when I open my email, there's a list of everything I have to do. I don't have to lie in bed thinking about it. You're like
your own personal assistant.
Yes.
You're emailing yourself and first thing you're like, oh, Jeff, let's see what you have to do today.
He was so passionate about it that before I even tried it, I wanted to share it with the world. So that's me sharing it. I don't know if it's going to work for me. It might resonate with somebody who is listening to this right now. If it does, please let us know.
I can't remember how I thought of this or where it kind of like sparked this in my head, but I was so inspired by something that you brought up on the show yesterday that I quickly wrote this idea down. And the idea is lead with your mistakes.
That's funny. I was so inspired by what you said.
Whatever.
I just can't remember how it came up, but boy, did it inspire me.
Let me rephrase that. Something you said yesterday sparked this.
I get it. It led us.
Right. It led me there. And one of my first days at work, I had a meeting set up with, like, part of the process as a new hire is you meet all the bosses or whatever.
At the job you have now?
At the job I have now. And I had this super high, like a senior vice president, a meeting with a senior vice president. So I was really nervous. And I walk into his office and he's sitting not behind his desk, but like in the chairs in front of his desk. And he's like, hey, how are you? Small talk. You should have walked around his desk and sat at his desk. I should have. That would have been awesome.
That would have really set the tone for how things were going to go.
But he said the first sentence out of his mouth about business was, I want to tell you about the biggest mistake I ever made. And he tells me this story about a royal screw up that he had as an executive that wound up in the media, the press got a hold of it like it was a whole thing. And that's the first thing he said to me right when I met him.
This subject probably came up when we were talking about that poor intern.
Oh, yep.
If we're talking about big mistakes, there's an intern that we talked about on yesterday's show who sent an email out to every HBO Max customer in like 23 states that had
totally accidental.
That had nothing to do with anything. So something like 600,000 people got an email that made no sense.
Yeah. And I just thought that was really cool. I think that part of life, and I think this is shifting right now, but I think part of life is making mistakes. And I think there is an issue with us not knowing it's okay to make mistakes. So when we're in an environment where it's accepted that you're going to screw up, that's great. But I think each of us in whatever we're doing every day can openly make mistakes and be more vulnerable when we're making mistakes and be like, hey, yep, I screwed that up. I didn't mean to. It won't, learn from that. But there is a tremendous value in saying, I made a mistake. Here's what it is. It also prevents other people from going and attacking you on your mistake. You know what I mean? Because you can do two things. You can make a mistake and then you can try to cover it up and go through the stress of all of that and the energy. Or you can throw your hands up and say, you know what? I screwed up here. Let this be a lesson for everybody, including me.
There's something in the culture of the United States of America where, and I think you're right. I think it's changing. I think it's different now than it was when I was growing up. But there is something in the fabric of being an American where perfection is almost expected. Where making a mistake is almost, I don't want to say criminal because that seems too dramatic, but where I feel like there was a period of time in my early career where the worst thing you could do was make an obvious mistake and you did not want to admit it.
Yeah. And I feel like that even when I was an intern and stuff like that. And I feel like the tide's changing. I hope that it is. And on a different perspective of admitting your mistakes, I was listening to, this is like a plug, but not really a plug because I actually was listening to it because I love their show, but Moms on Call that we produce was doing a show and they were talking about how as parents, our kids learn how to be adaptable in the world because they make mistakes and they know how to react to mistakes from watching us make mistakes first. And I really like that. So I just, I wrote it down. I'm like, that's such a good reminder. It's okay to make mistakes. Not only it's okay to make mistakes, but we should be making mistakes. And talking about a business, when your business is going seamlessly and there's no waves, that's the start of a business that's about to fail. Because the strongest businesses get stronger by building on mistakes. And when you're like smooth sailing, that's almost when you're too confident or you're too you're not improving anymore. Like you've kind of, hit the status quo.
Plateaued.
So, yeah. So when you're not plateaued and things are, you're making mistakes and you're failing, that is a really good opportunity for growth. So
cool. Well, in that case, we should be growing like gangbusters.
What do you mean?
Because I feel like every day we're trying to navigate a new wave or a new obstacle or whatever.
I know. And it actually made me think of you. Yeah, that quote made me think of you.
We're friends with a very cool person. His name is Kevin Gillespie. He's been on this show.
So cool.
He's the one of the coolest people we know, right? So Kevin is a chef, and not just like a chef, but he's a celebrity chef. He's a celebrity chef, but he's more than that. Like he's collected accolades. He's been on Top Chef. He's made it to close to the end of both seasons of Top Chef that he's been on. He's got award-winning restaurants that are groundbreaking and innovative.
He's got cookbooks. Yeah. And he's just cool. And he's funny. He's so funny.
And he's cool. So here's the deal. Kevin, and I'm telling this story because Kevin and I, along with a friend of his, recorded a kind of a trial podcast. And I'm in the process. We recorded it like 6 weeks ago, maybe even 2 months ago. And I'm just now getting around to editing it. And it's going to be out in the next couple days. And so he's been top of mind. And I don't think I told you this, Callie, but he was at our house a couple of weeks ago. And he said, I want to come over and with his wife and you guys supply the wine and the drinks, and I'm going to bring the stuff to make homemade pizzas. And we're like, cool. Like if he's going to cook pizza for us in our house,
homemade pizza.
Yeah. We're
by a professional chef, and we're so in.
Yeah. We're clearing our schedule. Calendar open. Come on. So when he gets to the house, one of the first things he does is he hands me a package of Italian sausage and says, hey, can you brown this on the stove? I will tell you that I don't know that I have ever felt more pressure.
Jeff's like sweating. I suddenly forgot how to cook sausage, and I do it every day.
I've browned meat 1,000 times in my life. No. When I was in college, I ate so much Hamburger Helper, so much. After college, I made so many homemade ground beef tacos. I have made meat sauce for pasta. I've thousands of pounds.
Sausage for breakfast.
Yeah, thousands.
You're a pro.
Of pounds of ground beef browned, ground meat browned. He hands it to me. I was nervous. I got the pan out. I turned the heat lower than I normally would have because I didn't want it to burn at all. I was watching that like a hawk. I was very careful, and I got it. And then I got it done, and I, poured it out and put it in a bowl, and it was great. And he used it. He never said anything about it, but that was so intimidating. Even though we consider him a friend, still nervous.
You know what, though? I think that Kevin is the kind of guy that would be totally non-judgy about that. Like, he's not the guy that's going to stand next to you in the kitchen and be like, hey, you're not doing it right. Like, he's a delegator. So he's like, okay, you do this, you do this. Like, that's how he operates with teams, and even like in his kitchens and stuff like that. He just trusts everybody to do their job. So I don't even think he looked at you once. Like, he's just like, hey man,
he was fine with it.
Handle this for me. And then,
it's
like playing piano for Elton John.
Credit card interest rates can sneak up on you. This is what I'm talking about. You sign up for a credit card because there's a great perk. Maybe you get a bunch of airline miles. Maybe you get a big cash bonus. Maybe you get a really low interest rate, and then you start using that card. Maybe you carry a balance for a couple months, or you're late just once, and all of a sudden your interest rate goes from that low promised amount at the beginning to something closer to 18 or 19% APR. And you are paying hundreds of dollars every year in interest. Right now, Lightstream wants to help you. They believe that people with good credit deserve a better loan experience. They can put money in your account as soon as the same day you apply for a credit card consolidation loan. With rates starting at just 5.93% APR with autopay and excellent credit, you are going to save cash starting immediately. Upside listeners can get a special interest rate discount and save even more. The only way to get this discount is to go to lightstream.com/upside. That's lightstream.com/upside. Subject to credit approval, rates range from 5.93% APR to 19.99% APR. Include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions to apply. Offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/upside for more information.
I have an exciting announcement. Rothy's launched men's shoes. I cannot wait to get Jeff in a pair of men's Rothy's because I have been bragging to him about mine for years. They're comfortable, they're super cute, they're machine washable, and they're sustainably made with materials like plastic water bottles. Now, if you're a Rothy's fan like me, you're probably familiar with the women's styles, but what do they have for men? I am snagging the sneaker style for Jeff, but they also have a loafer style for men in a bunch of different color options that are really cool looking. I am a proud Rothy's customer. I'm the owner of 5 pairs, and I'm so excited that Jeff gets to share in my excitement over these awesome shoes. I am not in any way, shape, or form surprised that Pop Sugar calls Rothy's the most comfortable and cute flats you'll never tire of wearing. Upgrade your closet with washable, sustainable, stylish shoes and bags from Rothy's. Plus, they just launched that men's line that I told you about, so make sure to check them out for the guy in your life. Head to rothys.com/upside to find your new favorites today. That's rothys.com/upside.
If you have a fitness routine and it's outside, you know how much you're sweating. It's that hot, humid time of year, and you can get really, really hot and really, really sweaty really, really quickly, even if you work out early in the morning or the evening. Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier helps you stay healthy and hydrated. They've got something called cellular transport technology, which is designed to enhance the rapid absorption of water and other nutrients. So if you work out and you sweat, consider Liquid IV to be part of your daily routine to stay hydrated. Get your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier plus immune support in bulk at Costco. You can also order online and you'll get 25% off your purchase using code UPSIDE at checkout of liquidiv.com. That's 25% off anything you order online when you get better hydration today. Use promo code UPSIDE at liquidiv.com.
Today's quote of the day is, "No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted."
Yesterday on the show, the subject of people having unique smells came up. One of our Upside listeners was looked at like she had 5 heads when she brought it up around her coworkers, how her son can tell the difference between how she smells versus how his grandmother smells, so.
Yeah, it's a thing. People have sense.
Science is about to back us up.
Oh, okay.
Because Callie and I both said people do smell. And
not smell bad. They just have like different people smell like when Ellie leaves my parents' house, she smells like my parents' house.
Body odor is unique to individual people, and it reveals could reveal really significant things about a person. So if you have extreme body odor issues, that means you could, like if you smell like rotten apples, you could have undiagnosed diabetes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yep.
That's where we're going.
In addition, the more meat you consume, the better your BO smells. Your body odor smells.
That's so weird.
Women smell different depending on the time of month. And partners can generally pick out the scent of their significant other's t-shirts or clothing from a pile of clothing.
Did you do that as an old radio segment?
Uh-huh. You had to bring in one of your shirts, I think.
Yeah. Did you get it right?
I'm sure I did. But even without perfume and stuff.
No. Yeah. It's just like the way that, like, it had to be like a worn shirt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, this study is super complex and like super deep and whatever. But the gist of it is, yes, people have their own unique smells, number one. Two, the world doesn't use the way people smell enough, like properly, in order to help diagnose illnesses, treat things, stuff like that. And three, for whatever reason, the world is obsessed with covering up scents and making people all smell the same. That's why the cologne and perfume industry is a multi-gazillion-dollar industry.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So science backing up what we were saying about people smelling. Thank you to, hang on, Nicole for sending that in. It was very complicated. You're much smarter than I am, but thank you for sending it in.
All right, we thought we'd mix it up a little bit today. So here are my 3 random things brought to you by Brown & Company, because I got random things too. 1 in 5 people have banned Monopoly for causing problems on game night. In a recent survey of 2,000 Americans, 20% say that their game nights with friends or their family are always disrupted by competitive or unfriendly behavior while they're playing Monopoly.
I had there were a couple friends who loved game night. The problem was they would always end up in a fight.
Okay, so listen to this. Typical problems include someone quitting. This is my favorite part because they're losing. Someone accusing another player of cheating, or 2 or more players getting into an argument. Yeah. I just can't. It's so funny to me. Like, you're cheating and you can't get past the fact that you're playing Monopoly, and it's just really funny.
This couple, like, the other friends in the group, we would stop going to their game nights because if they were on opposite teams, there would be accusations of bending the rules or cheating or whatever.
Yeah.
If they were on the same team, they would fight about the other one of them's not pulling the weight. Like, oh, how could you get that wrong? How could you get that? How do you not know that?
It's like no games for you two.
How do you not know what Judy Garland's zodiac sign was? God, everybody knows. Virgo, idiot.
My second random thing is 53% of Americans would switch to a role in a new industry if they had the opportunity to retrain. And that's according to Prudential's latest Pulse of the American Worker Survey. So that is like a post-pandemic thing that people are like, you know what? If I could do it, I would switch careers right now.
I think that's low.
I think that's low too.
Yeah.
I was expecting when I saw that something in like the 70s.
Do you think college is going to be different when Ellie is older? When Ellie is old enough to go to college, do you think college will be different?
I don't know.
Because there was a time.
I think high school will be different. I don't know that college will be.
But there was a time, the reason you went to college was to get a degree
in whatever you were going to work in.
Right. And then you would get that degree, and that degree would guarantee you a better job and a better salary. I think that guarantee is going away.
Well, I think it depends on
the industry, of course.
Yeah, on the industry. But I think generally speaking, I think that you're right. And I think that college, in my opinion, more about the experience, the learning how to be on your own. It's like a stepping stone to be an adult, You learn how to live on your own for the first time. You learn how to navigate relationship problems without your parents around, like living with people and stuff like that.
You learn to make boxed macaroni and cheese on one of those hot pot water heater upper things.
Valuable life experience. You know what I mean? You just learn how to do all these things, and it's fun. College is super fun. So I don't think most people do things that pertain to their degree, but anyway. And my third random thing is, and Jeff Dollar, this is specifically for you. A new study finds dogs and cats have been gaining the COVID-15 along with their owners. From March 2020 to December 2020, dogs diagnosed as overweight or obese rose 2.3%.
Yeah.
And overall, 34% of dogs and 38% of cats were diagnosed as overweight or obese in 2020. And I say that was meant for Jeff Dollar because Sadie Dollar, our rescue beagle, has a bit of a weight problem since our child has begun eating solid foods and routinely throws things on the floor. And she is, I told Jeff the other day, I'm like, Sadie, we got to get some exercise because
I don't think it's Ellie's food because I just don't think there's enough of it. I just think it's lack of exercise.
She needs to get on like a fitness program.
Yeah, Sadie is gonna be in a walking program because she is a chunk.
And those are my 3 random things.
Thank you for listening to The Upside with Callie and Jeff. Today's episode was brought to you by Dinner Affair, the official meal kit for families. Visit dinneraffair.com/upside for your exclusive discount. We would love to stay in touch with you by text. Text the word UPSIDE to 800-434-5454.
For a while,
and then save it in your phone as Callie and Jeff.
From TikTok, these things on TikTok to make your life
TikTok
easier.
tip of the day.
The TikTok tip of the day. I stumbled across one that comes with a warning. There's a girl named Heather Dunn who has gone viral on TikTok with her teeth whitening hack.
Okay.
Would you like to know what she was doing to whiten her teeth?
Yeah.
She was using a magic eraser.
No.
And she cut it into small little pieces. And every night she would polish her teeth with a magic eraser.
No.
Yeah.
That has chemicals in it though, right?
It sure does.
My teeth hurt. Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
The foam, it's called melamine foam, which is what the magic eraser is made of, contains formaldehyde, which is a carcinogen. So you can ingest.
I don't even know what's a carcinogen.
Causes cancer.
Oh.
A carcinogen, like cigarette smoke, carcinogen, asbestos, lead paint.
Magic erasers on your teeth.
All stuff that you wouldn't put in your mouth. But she did. And so dentists commented on her viral video and said, don't do that. You're putting a carcinogen in your mouth. And she responds with the study that she found.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's from 2015. And it was a study that said that a magic eraser sponge removes stains from teeth. And the dentist responded with, those were teeth that had been pulled out. Like those were not in a body. Like those were.
I wonder if, you know how you just said that the study you were talking about or whatever was super complex. I wonder if she read that but didn't understand half the words. So she read the same study that he did, but it was all in fancy dentist language.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, it says right there, but it's happens to be the only sentence that she can understand because it's for super smart people, which,
She's not.
Okay, anybody that's ever had a spouse work out of town knows how they smell. Because you find something of theirs, and I'm not talking about drenched in cologne or anything, like an undershirt, something that's, and you sleep with it. My husband worked out of town for almost a year, and I know I sound like a spoiled little whatever because people in the military do it all the time, but a year's a long time. And I slept with one of his shirts on his pillow for a year. So yes, people for sure smell different. And I'm not talking body odor or cologne, their actual being themselves, they smell
Summer
different.
is here and it's grilling season, baby.
Bye.
Jeff and I try to plan out our meals as best we can, but you know how it is in the summer. We get randomly in the mood for grilling and we're like, you know what? It is so nice out tonight. We're grilling, and thanks to ButcherBox, we already always have high quality, great tasting meat in our house ready to go. Every month, ButcherBox ships a curated selection of high quality meat right to our home. All of the meat is free of antibiotics and added hormones and comes with enough meat for 24 individual meals. So we throw ours in the freezer, and then we always have high quality meat ready to go. You can either let ButcherBox put a box together for you, like choose one of their boxes, or you can customize your own, which is what we do. We usually do ground beef, we do sirloin steaks and chicken breasts. We freeze it and take it out when we're ready, and we don't have to hope that the grocery store ever has what we want in stock. With ButcherBox, we get the highest quality meat around, and we get exactly what we want at a reasonable price. It's the way meat should be. Backed by popular demand, receive bacon for life. Right now, new members can get bacon for life when they sign up. Just go to butcherbox.com/upside. That's a package of free bacon in every box for the life of your subscription when you go to butcherbox.com/upside.
Hey, Callie and Jeff, I had to pause today to call and tell you, it's not that you're losing friends during a pandemic. I think that you have to look at it in a more upsidey way. I think over the last year, we've all gotten to spend a ton of time, great time with our families, with the people that mean the most to us. And in my case, I learned I really love hanging out with them. So the time that I was spending with other people, if it's not as valuable as the time that I was spending with my immediate family, I don't really want to do it. We also went through a pretty contentious election. We went through, rioting and a whole slew of things that were pretty contentious in our country. And we all got to see who the real sides of people were that maybe we didn't know as well before. And so we can take this opportunity to make choices. I've made a lot of choices about who I want to spend my time with and what I want that time to be about. So it's not about losing friends. I think it's about making quality decisions for yourself and choosing for self-care and for your own mental health. Who do you want to be in your tight circle? And it's really okay if we have a lot of acquaintances, but only a few close friends. So I think just think about that. It's more upsidey than you think it is. You haven't lost friends. You've really whittled them down to the friends that mean the most to you and that you can spend the most time being a really good friend to. Thanks. Have a great day. Love you guys. Bye.
Hey guys, I was at a kid's birthday party over the weekend and the dad actually had the hiccups. And I was like, oh, have you tried spoonful of peanut butter? He's like, didn't work. He had them for 2 days after anesthesia, I think. So supposedly you can get hiccups from that. Someone said the only way they'll go away is for like the anesthesia to work its way out of his body. So kind of one of my biggest nightmares. Like for 2 days he's been hiccuping. Have a great day. Bye.
Good morning. I'm listening to Tuesday's episode, and Callie, you are going over all the other podcasts that are true crime. And I, 10 out of 10, agree with all your recommendations. I've also listened to all of those, and they are so good. So anyone else that's listening, Callie has nailed this. Go listen to those podcasts. They're awesome. Bye.
Hey, Callie and Jeff. This is Trisha from Cartersville, Georgia. I wanted to let Jeff know that I have one of the electronic robot vacuums, and it was a gift, so I did not purchase it, but I would never live without it now. I have 2 dogs as well, and it picks up so much dog hair. I just set it to go vacuum the whole downstairs at 2 a.m. every night, and when I wake up, I empty the bin, and I'm done for the day. Everything is clean with all the dog hair picked up, and it is so worth it. So I say go for it, try it out. If you don't love it, you could always return it. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Callie and Jeff. I actually work for Warner Media, so I heard about that whole HBO Max integration email mess, and it actually turned out to be hilarious and a huge thing in the press. If you haven't read the article on The Wrap, you really need to, because they compiled all these tweets. One of my favorites is, there are 2 types of people: those who got the HBO Max integration test email and mooches. All right, thanks. Have a good day. Bye.
It is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us and makes us unique. It's not easy, but if you accept your misfortune and handle it right, your perceived failure can become a catalyst for profound reinvention.